This is a knife skills assessment. Watch the following video and tutorial to learn about specific knife cuts used in culinary arts education and mastered by chefs in all areas of the food industry. Each knife cut discussed will be described and then visually demonstrated with a picture. These are the knife cuts you will need to know and what you will be tested on. Any questions, stop the video and ask. Thank you. The lyonnaise cut is usually associated with onions and potatoes. It is a cut that produces long, thin strips of onion or potato, etc. for recipes like French onion soup or those that need caramelized onions. Lyonnaise potatoes and scalloped potatoes are two more common uses. Chopping is slicing vegetables into small pieces of the same relative size, making it the easiest knife cut. Chefs rely on the fast and simple chopping method for recipes where the appearance and texture of the ingredients don't matter. The classic cooking base mirepoix and purees use chopped vegetables. A bias cut refers to slicing foods at an angle rather than perpendicular to its natural shape or grain. This technique is often used for aesthetic purposes as it creates elongated and visually appealing slices. Additionally, bias cuts can alter the texture of certain foods, such as meat or vegetables, making them more tender and providing a different sort of mouthfeel. The julienne cut is known as the matchstick cut because of an ingredient's resemblance to the wooden part of a match after being cut. These are essentially thin planks that are cut evenly and meticulously. The size for the julienne cut is taught at escoffier is 2.5 inches long, 1/8 of an inch wide, and 1/8 of an inch high. A fine julienne is even smaller, at the same length, but 1/16 of an inch in other dimensions. The bâtonnet starts as a rectangular cut that's also used for the julienne. It's commonly used for foods like French fries. This cut generates a much thicker, squared rectangular shape. The exact bâtonnet measures are 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 2.5 inches. Chefs use the paysanne cut to create thin slices of vegetables that mirror their natural shapes. Paysanne is a French term that translates to country style because it is less precise than other knife cuts used in classic French cooking. The paysanne cut size is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch by 1/8 of an inch. If you've ever feasted on a savory meal topped with elegant ribbons of basil, chances are the cook employed the chiffonade cut. This knife technique is used to cut aromatic herbs and certain types of leafy greens into dainty little ribbons, although the textbook definition of chiffonade translates to rags. In the culinary world, ribbons sound a bit more appealing. Mincing is the smallest knife cut that chefs use, macerating ingredients into tiny pieces that are often intended for specific garnishes and sautés. As Escoffier online culinary arts chef instructor Anthony Fraser puts it, typically when mincing, chefs cut in a rocking motion when using the natural curvature on the belly of the knife, while leaving the tip of the knife on the cutting board and manipulating the heel of the knife to mince the product into fine cuts. For a professional chef, mastering the perfect dice is critical because it's one of the most widely used knife techniques. Small dice is usually food cut into 1/4 inch square pieces, medium dice is around 1/2 inch, and large dice land in the 3/4 to 1 inch range. The oblique cut, often referred to as a roll cut, is typically used with long vegetables like carrots or zucchini. The cut produces two different angles, but chunks of uniform size. The angle helps expand the surface area to better absorb flavors and cook faster, and the uniformity helps ingredients cook more evenly. In French, brunoise translates to tiny cubes, and it begins with the classic julienne cut. Professional cooks start by delicately bundling the julienne strips together, then delicately dicing them into an 1/8-inch cubes. It's imperative to stay precise with these measurements, as a smaller cut could quickly transition into a mince. An aesthetically appealing and versatile technique, the tourne cup essentially reshapes a food into an oblong football-like shape. The name comes from the French word for turned, named so because you have to physically turn the food in your hand to prepare it this way. Rondelle, which means round, are coin-like pieces cut from cylindrical or conical vegetables. It is one of the easiest classic cuts to achieve. Typical candidates for the rondelle cut are cucumbers, carrot, zucchini, and eggplant. Because rondelle mirrors the shape of the product, there aren't precise dimensions for this cut. However, the rondelle pieces must be uniform and have the same thickness. Most chefs cut their rondelle slices between 1/8 to 1/2 inch thick. This concludes the tutorial segment on knife skills. Complete the test portion for certification in this assessment. Contact your teacher for more details. Thank you.